Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. Ours is a place where dreams take flight, voices are heard, and stories are shared. This is where cultures meet, connections are formed, and ideas are transformed into action. This is your destination for authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations. We're where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover our world of education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our USA Global TV channel and download our USA Global TV app. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. With heartfelt thanks to our executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, music scored by Yifei Tang from Cloud Road Music, creative direction by Paul Garcia, and I'm Al Cini, and I'm very proud to be part of the USA Global TV and Radio family. So join us here at USA Global TV and Radio. Make us your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Thank you for being a part of our global community. Let's inspire together.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we proudly provide world-class, what is it? Yes, education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you again for another outstanding episode of A Woman's Prerogative. Hello to all of our friends at E360 TV. Thank you so much for taking this journey with us. Today's episode is fascinating. It's something that's trending on Google and on YouTube. It's 1 minute habits. 1 minute habits. We're talking about positive habits here, not habits, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not in that habit of that habit. Okay, so we're going to have this conversation. And joining me is my dear friend. She is a true leader herself. We met in 2019 in a life coaching course, and life has ever so been altered since that day. She's a transformation leadership wizard. She has an engineering background. She was in New Zealand and now she's in Australia. She's also an author. Let's welcome her to the program. Her name is Mariska Dupria. Hello, how are you?
Hello, and what a very long list of things.
Yes. There's a lot of things that you've accomplished, and we need to be proud of that. And we need to get it out there for people to know. So welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And for those who don't know, we have no script. Mariska did not even know what we were talking about literally until a few seconds before the show started. So do tell our audience, people joining us all the time from new places, we're thrilled to have them. What is it specifically that you do and who do you help?
So I am a leadership development partner, and I partner with you within your own leadership space, whether you are moving into leadership or whether you are moving up in your leadership space. And this can take a variety of different forms. So I do training, I do coaching, I do team coaching as well, and group coaching, where it's not an intact team, but a group of people that might want to look at the same type of thing. So that's the who I help and the how I help. And of course, this is especially those that move from specializations into leadership are close to my heart, because that's a space that I come from myself. And I know how difficult it can be when we are in a specialization. We've learned all the things that we need to know, all the technical things, and now we need to get to learn how the people space works. And I don't know about you guys, but typically hitting them doesn't work. So I won't suggest that you hit them. There's other ways of getting people to actually be in a space where they can be their best selves, and we do not need to micromanage things. So that's the who's and the what's. And of course, if you want to get hold of me, you can do so via my email address, which is at the bottom there. If you are listening, it is Mariska at journey2, the number 2, discover.com. Or alternatively, you can also find me on LinkedIn. And then we can start our conversation from there too. And now I would love to start our conversation, Dr. Jacqueline, around this topic.
Back to the topic. Okay, 1 minute habits. I can tell you something that I personally have been doing recently. I have been standing on one leg. So I might even be in line at a store, or as they say in New York, online, and I'll just lift up one foot and I just balance on one foot. So if you think about it, being able to balance on one foot is really important, especially as we get older. Are you doing it right now? Okay, everybody out there, are you watching? Stand on one foot. Let's just see how we can do this. Now, I feel my foot a little bit wobbling, but that's okay because I'm used to doing this. I practice it at the gym, and then you switch and you go to the other side. So there, you're working on your balance. It's also concentration and it's core strength. And I think you work your way up to 10 minutes. And I do recall when I was doing yoga. Are you a yoga practitioner?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so way back when I was doing yoga, which apparently I'm going to retreat, I'm going to be doing yoga very soon. I remember for the 26 and 2, where you hold 26 poses, you hold them for 2 minutes, I believe. So if you think about it, you can stand on one leg for a minute. That's pretty good. And then you just work your way up from there.
And if they were encouraged to stand on their one leg with us right now, you did it for about a minute.
That's right. That's right. That's pretty good. So everybody give yourself a hint. Fantastic. Okay. Can you come up with one?
Well, let's see. 1 minute habits. Something that I have been practicing more of, and sometimes it's a little bit more than a minute and sometimes a little bit less than a minute, is really just being present. So mindfulness and presence in itself, and noticing the things around me that I am maybe doing right at that minute or that second. Or noticing my own body, what's happening with it. I don't know about you, Dr. Jacqueline, but sometimes I forget I have toes. And then it helps to actually wiggle them and sort of just notice them again and then go, I haven't really noticed my toes in a while. So noticing different areas of my body that I might be holding tension, where I might not have noticed them for a while, like my toes. That helps me to be present in this moment. And it also helps me to regulate emotionally, especially when I go through a day where maybe I have a lot on and it feels quite stressful, jumping from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next. Okay. So what I then do is take a minute, just be present with myself. So that I have found quite helpful. So that's another 1 minute habit. And
that's really good. I love that one. Somebody once said to me, keep your head where your feet are.
Yes.
And that's kind of what you're saying about being present. And sometimes that's really challenging. Now, here I have a challenge for the two of us and for everyone else. Okay. Stand on your right foot and keep your mind focused just on your breathing, not your right foot. Breathing in, breathing out. Forget about the shaking. If it's shaking, whatever is going on, just keep breathing. Deep breath in and out. How does that feel?
Really good. I actually, in the beginning, when you said, okay, so we're not going to concentrate on the foot, we're going to concentrate on the breathing, my foot went all, what? You don't want to concentrate on me? What's happening? And then once I sort of realigned the brain to go, no, it's fine. You know what? You can normally stand on one foot. It's fine. My balance isn't that bad. I could go to the breathing. And when we were starting to concentrate on the breath, the foot was like, yeah, it's fine. Look, I've got this.
Exactly. You know, the only reason I brought that up, because I didn't plan it out, was that let's stand on the left foot now. So stand on your left foot. So standing on one foot can be comfortable or uncomfortable depending on how much you practice it and how good your balance is. But if we tell ourselves, I'm not focusing on that, I'm just going to focus on my breath. I'm going to breathe in, let it go. And we continue that practice. It's almost like challenges that we have in our life. We're not focused on the challenge. We're focused on our breath. And by focusing on our breath, we are present, like what you just shared. And before you know it, the minute's over and we can stand on both legs. What do you think of that?
I love it. I love how we can utilize these different ways of being, right? And especially when we can physically do something, move ourselves, move the things around us, do things where we can stand on one foot and breathe. Guess what? We can actually get that right.
It's so
It reminds
true.
me like when we were little. I don't know if you ever did it, Dr. Jacqueline, where you were tapping your head and then rubbing your tummy, right? And this is quite difficult to do if you haven't done that in a while. And I don't know if I can, I can do it with both hands. But it has that sort of same effect, the foot and the breathing, because you're doing two things that doesn't feel related to one another. And luckily I didn't squish my hair up because that would have looked quite a bit weird. But it reminds me of that when we were little, and it was just playful and something fun to do. And what we did now reminded me of challenges that we get in life, as you mentioned. And we don't think about the fact that that challenge can, well, it can do its own thing for a while, and we can just concentrate on breath. And we might even come up with a good idea of how to solve said challenge if and when we concentrate on our breath. Or stand on one foot for a minute and then remember to breathe at the same time.
Exactly. And we did it. We accomplished it. So here's another one that I have. Okay. It's about standing up straight. Do you have access to a book?
A book.
Yes.
Let's see.
Let's see if
Yes,
I
I
can
do.
get. I just
Do you have
washed
the
my
book?
hair, so I have a big thing on the back. But so we put a book on our head. Whoa. I might have to take the thing out of my hair. Let's see. Okay. We put the book on our head.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
And then we stand up straight, holding your stomach, chest out, shoulders down. You look like a graduate, by the way. You look like you're wearing a graduate hat. So now we are practicing our balance for a minute. And again, it's a little awkward to have something on your head, right? And this is just like
It
life.
is.
Life gives us challenges which are awkward, but we stand up straight, we breathe, and we get through it. I think we have 15 seconds left. So for anyone who's just joining us, they're like, what are they doing? We're doing 1 minute habits. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Congratulations.
I am so glad that I didn't decide to start giggling, and I was feeling my book hat going, shh. Okay, don't
Well, you
giggle.
did look
Don't
like the
giggle.
graduate. You had on that graduate hat. So that's the second thing. We roll our shoulders back. We bring our stomach in. That's always the challenge for me. Chest out. And then we stand up straight. And I always look at my chin. Like, is your chin level with the floor or is it up or it's down? But sometimes it's really good to just stand up straight because we're so used to sitting and being hunched over a computer or in a car, whatever it might be. So that's another 1 minute. Okay, over to you for the next one.
Ooh, okay, let's see. Well, I know that we don't have anything to eat at the moment. And have you ever eaten mindfully? Anything?
You know, that's a great question. And I can say when I'm with Philip Sykes, The answer is yes, because he certified me as an etiquette coach. So we had to learn how to eat where you actually put the fork down in between every bite and you think about it. And I think, I don't know how it is in Australia, but here in the States, it's either one of two ways. You can go somewhere and they have, the portion is huge. It's like for 3 or 4 meals. I'm like, wow, what am I supposed to do with this? And I feel pressure to actually eat more, or I'm just going to take it home. Or you're paying a lot of money and the amount of food you get is so small. It's like, oh my gosh, where's the rest of the food? But to your point, I've only done it when I'm with Philip and I'm talking about, etiquette and manners.
Okay. I have not done it with Philip. I did it with a little tub of yogurt.
Tell us more.
It was the best tub of yogurt ever. And it literally had that, what you mentioned about putting down your fork. So, well, you don't eat yogurt with a fork, you do it with a spoon. Well, I do it with a spoon. I don't know what you guys do it with, but I normally eat my yogurt with a spoon. And just noticing, so with the spoon, I just leave it in the container after taking my little scoop. And noticing the textures, noticing the different, even the way it tastes different, each scoop or each bite was fascinating. I did not know that one little tub of yogurt would have so many different flavors and textures and things inside of it. It was wonderful. It most probably took more than a minute to eat it because it was a very slow, mindful process. And because of that slow, mindful process, it was also really satisfying. I was surprised that, well, I didn't even need to eat as much as I normally would because I was concentrating only on that particular activity. So that made a big difference just for how I ate, as well as the experience of eating, which is now reminding me of the fact that I want to do that more often.
I love that. I've actually never heard that before, mindful eating. Maybe it really comes down to being mindful with everything that we do. And I know that that's challenging because many of us are so used to multitasking. And it's kind of funny because you know this, you've known me for a while now, but I used to brag about how I could multitask. I'd be like, oh, I'm on my computer, my iPad, my phone, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then I started teaching listening courses and I realized you can't do more than one thing at a time and actually be listening. We think we can, but we're really not listening. So when we're eating, are we really paying attention to the food? Are we mindlessly eating where we're doing something else? We're reading. That happens a lot too. If you are on a schedule, or maybe you get a short lunch break where you work or wherever you go to school, and you've got 30 minutes to eat something, you're kind of like shoveling it down so you can get back to where you have to go. And it's not good for the body. And I don't think it really gives us that experience to enjoy the food. However, I want to have your opinion on this. We've had many people on this platform who have talked about the fact that eating food is not supposed to be enjoyable as the first priority. It's supposed to be fuel.
Is that true? I'm just wondering, is that true?
I know I'd like your opinion on it. What do you think? Do you eat just for fuel, for your container, for your body, or do you eat because it's a part of your life and you really enjoy it? I know growing up, my dad would say, we're dining. We're going to be here for 6 hours dining. And I've met other people like, we have to eat in 20 minutes and go. So where do you stand on that?
Well, thinking about experiences that I have had with food, my one friend, I remember going out for dinners at restaurants with them quite often. So as a family, we didn't typically go out to restaurants. We most of the time made food at home and ate at home. But her family dined out quite a bit. And I remember sitting at the restaurant table, and I would take my time to chew my food and eat it and enjoy what it was that I had on my plate. And her brother would just wolf it down, literally. He would eat in half the time. And I remember at a stage feeling very conscious of the fact that he's finished his. Her mom and herself would finish sort of halfway between me and him, and then I was still busy eating. So for me, it was something of okay, not everybody eats at the same pace. And I didn't feel that I needed necessarily to eat as much because I eat a lot slower. My tummy has a tendency to fill up a lot quicker. I have more satisfaction that I get from the food that I actually ingest than just it being fuel. So for me, it is really, it's not just fuel. I mean, it's also an experience. Food has different connections for different people. And for me, it is about the experience of the thing that I'm doing to provide some fuel to my body. Yes, sometimes the fuel might not be as much fun, or it might be no offense to McDonald's burgers, but it might be a McDonald's burger which is a little bit of cardboard and sauce on it so that it can taste better. Which, if you do it mindfully, can still be an interesting experience and potentially not the thing that I would like to do every day. So for me, it is a bit of both. It is what is the fuel that I'm getting from it? So what is the thing that my body can do with the food that I'm putting into it? And it is also an experience. So why not enjoy the experience? Why I have to eat in any case? I mean, I can just as well enjoy it. It's like when you read a book or when you go and do something like, I don't know, fold washing. I don't know a lot of people that go, oh, yes, folding washing sounds like the most exciting thing that I'm going to do today.
Folding wash.
But if I think about folding washing, for me, it's really a mindfulness practice these days. I hated it when I was younger. The only reason I would touch washing for any reason was for extra pocket money. My mom knew this really well. I would do ironing and I would fold washing only if she paid me. Otherwise, forget it. It won't happen.
I have a question for you. When you fold your towels, how do you fold them? So I don't have a towel nearby, but I fold in the one part, then the other part, then I fold it over, and then I fold it in half. Whereas some people will take the whole towel and fold it over and then fold it over again.
It depends on the towel and what I'm going to do with it. So
wow.
if it is a towel that's just going to go into the cupboard because it's additional towels, I will just do the whole thing, big, into the cupboard. If it is a towel that's going to go to our bathroom because I'm going to use it, or it's going to be a guest towel, so I'm getting guests and I've prepared towels for them, then I would do it in the special 3-fold way of folding. So yes, it depends on what I want to do with the towel for how I'm going to fold it.
So even though you're in Australia and I'm here in the US, we are folding towels in a similar way. I absolutely love that. And I bet we have some similarities on this next 1 minute habit, which, by the way, let's stand on our right foot again while we do this. So another 1 minute habit, aside from standing on one leg and maybe putting a book on your head for your posture, is positive affirmations. And I like the affirmations that begin with I am good enough. I am worthy. The one I always struggle with, and it's when I turn 55 and I hit that menopause, it's the wide waist. And there's nothing I am that I'm going to say about that makes me happy. So I'm trying to focus on some other things. So I am a lot of things, but not happy with my waist is my new thing. But so now we can switch to the left. So if you had to say something, a positive affirmation, I am, what would it be?
I normally with my affirmations add a little bit of a thing in between the I am and the thing that I am. So for me, it is one of the things that typically I try to do really well, not always get to it, is remembering people's names. So I am getting better at remembering people's names.
That's a tough one, by the way. So what is your technique? This might not be a 1-minute technique, but if you walk into a room and you meet 5-10 people at one time, how do you remember their names?
What I have found works for me is one, visualizing actually writing the name out. So understanding how to spell the name. Saying the name a couple of times so I can understand how the other person pronounces the name. And then, if and where possible, either linking it to somebody that I know that has the name, or linking the name to something that I would find memorable. And I know that there's a comedian called David Nihil, I think is his surname. And he said the one way that he learned to learn new languages is to make a little story. And if you can have the story have sexual or profane sort of connections, it's helpful for the brain to link onto it. So one word that he has, and I think this is I'm speaking under correction, Spanish, might be Spanish word, is caber. And caber means to fit. So the way that he explains remembering caber is thinking about a New York taxi, or any taxi for that matter. And you have this bear, potentially it was trying to get away because it robbed the bank. So it has a big bag of money in its hand and trying to fit into this taxi cab. And of course, the taxi is way too small for it. The window doesn't want to open big enough. And you see the bear's feet at the back just kicking. The bear's not fitting in the taxi. So bear, cab, caber, right? And it is to fit. So you have a story that puts the cab and the bear, caber, together, and it means to fit. So you can learn languages that way. The more often you practice these sort of things, the better you get. And I am trying that out with names. Sometimes it is not as effective as other times. So I'm still learning how to.
You're working on it. I love that. That's another good one. All right, I've come up with another one. So there's a green screen behind me, so I can't really do it. But for anyone who's at home, if you can put your back up to a wall, if you're healthy, and this is, I'm not a doctor, so please mind whatever I'm saying and see if it works for you. But if you put your back against the wall and you stand sort of in a straddle with your feet hip distance apart, and then slowly lower yourself down on the wall so that you're in a squat position, and then hold it for a minute. How low can you go?
Oh dear.
Bye.
They will miss us. They won't see us anymore. I'm not sure whether my legs will be able to hold this for very long.
It's also good. You can take a medicine ball and put it behind you, but it really works your quadriceps and it works your glutes. And then if you choose, you can put your arms out in front of you sort of as a counterbalance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel anything?
I do. My legs are saying me.
All right. So now if you want to get really fancy, you can lift one leg up while you're in the squat and hold the leg up. How's that?
Wow,
and then you can come back and switch to the other leg. So you're in a squat position with your arms out, your back is against the wall, and your one leg is literally up off the floor. Look at us. We look like our heads are coming together.
There you go. We are half and half.
So that's something you can do for a minute to strengthen your quads. and strengthen your glutes. Remember when you and I used to have the exercise class on here? What was that class we had?
That's what this is reminding me of.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of all the different exercises we did. We took chairs. We did some exercises on chairs with whatever it is that you had around you. So that was so much fun.
So for people who don't know, before we were USA Global TV and Radio, we were rapping with Dr. Jacqueline for what, about a year, maybe a year and a half. And Mariska and I did a show together. I don't know, it was called Get Off Your Couch. And Get Off Your Couch, that's what it was. And we would be in workout clothes and do different kinds of things. It was really fun. I don't know why we stopped that, but we did. So all right, so that's another one. So let's just recap for our audience. These are 1 minute habits that are good for you in some way or another. What you can stand on one leg. Okay, we've done that. You stand on the other leg. You can put a book on your head I just put my hair thing back, but you can do it. The graduate can do it. There you go. You can hold that for a minute. You can also be mindful when you're eating. And by the way, you can breathe. You can do deep breaths and see if you can hold it for a minute and then let it go. Think about Tom Cruise. And he was in that movie, which I didn't get to see, but he was underwater for I forget how long. And sometimes we're hyperventilating just to get a breath every few seconds. So slowing down your breathing is really good. And then we just talked about that one about going against the wall and slowly disappearing, working your quads, and positive affirmations. Here's another one. What about drinking water for a minute? I know so many people who do not like to drink water. They're completely against it. But so you get yourself a glass of water and you drink that for a minute. What do you think?
I think that will most probably make my tummy full of water because I do not have any qualms with water at all. I actually like water.
I do too.
So, yes, I think I will most probably not need to eat as much afterwards because a minute to drink water is a lot of water. Well, for me, it's a lot of water because I drink water quite fast. And what I just thought about is, how about drinking water mindfully? I know people say water does not have a taste. Well, technically, I would disagree because I have had water that it depends on the type of minerals that they have in it, but we've had a borehole back in South Africa with the sweetest water that I've ever tasted. So water can be really good and really tasty, depending on the minerals that you have inside of it. So yeah, drinking water for a minute and really tasting all the goodness in it, that would make a big difference. So yeah, I would enjoy that.
I love how you say it again, water.
Water?
Water. We say water. We need some water here in Jersey.
Oh, yes. It's a sound at the end.
Water. So that's another good one. So you can drink water for 1 minute. And here's one which might sound a little crazy, but I live alone. So you can actually get a nice hand cream, body cream, and you can rub your feet for a minute. Why not?
Yes.
Rub your feet. It's not sad. You can rub your palms. That feels really good. We get a lot of tension in here. So that's something else. So they're the ones that we've discussed so far. What am I missing that you might have?
I think for me, the 1 minute habits is also about building habits. So if you think about 1 minute habits, doing habit stacking. And so think about the standing on one leg that we did, right? You can do that at any point in time during your day when you are in a upright position. So whether it is while you are brushing your teeth, whether it is while you are standing in line, waiting for, I don't know, whatever it is that you are standing in line for, whether it is you behind your computer screen and you have hopefully a standing desk. Even if you do not have a standing desk, just take your chair to the side and stand up for a bit. Good for the body. So being able to do that with something else, or to build your capacity to make it even more and more and more. So starting with 1 minute, then 2 minutes, then 3 minutes. That helps us to also habit stack, which means that we get better and the muscles or whatever it is that we are trying to achieve increase. So that's the other thing that I would keep in mind with 1 minute habits. It's not only the habit that I'm creating, how can I stack that or add that to something else so it becomes something bigger? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So how do you get better at this big thing? Well, just do 1 minute of the smaller thing at a time.
Fantastic. And I want to add something to that because I love that so much. Push-ups. Yes, push-ups. You can start by doing one push-up, work your way up to a minute. And then to your point, I was reading about someone who started doing push-ups. I think they were doing 50 push-ups a day for 3 months and started off with maybe 5 push-ups. And of course, you can drop to your knees. There's all different kinds of push-ups, but that's so good for you too. And the one thing that I like to share, and I know I've said this to you before, especially as women, when we travel, putting that suitcase in the overhead bin, you really need some shoulder strength, unless you're going to do what I just did when I went to Greece, because I fell off the treadmill and I really hurt my hand, and it was in a not in a cast, I forget what it's called, but I literally could not get it up there because of my hand. But otherwise I can, I have no problem, 50 pounds, I can put it into the bin myself. But many people have challenges with that. So push-ups are really good for your upper body strength. So if you think about it, even though you may have someone to help you, it's always good to feel independent as well, to know that you've done something yourself. So get on that ground when you wake up, possibly before you go to bed, and do some push-ups.
Speaking of push-ups, you don't even need to do it on the ground. So if you feel like you can't get yourself, well, either on the ground or back up once you are on the ground, do it on your kitchen counter.
Ah, I love it.
So
Tell us more.
Stand a little bit further away from your kitchen counter and do it on your kitchen counter. It makes a big difference already for upper body strength. And the more you do that, the better you would get. And the more likely that you would be able to actually get yourself to the floor and up again afterwards.
That's so good. It's so good. And I think it all comes down to what you said. It's about the baseline, the foundation for building healthy habits. So if it starts with one thing, and by the way, I do want to give credit to James Wooten, who is the person who suggested in Greece about standing on one leg. And you can, by the way, you can even go to tree pose, right? You can bring your leg up and you can do a tree pose while you're standing there. And that's actually really good to start with that. You can lean against the wall if you want. And then when you start to really get yourself to the next level, you can stand on a bosu. And the bosu will make it so that I don't have one here, but that, you really have to work to keep your balance. And what I found is, from all the years I practiced yoga, which I've gotten away from it a little bit because I'm focused more on weight training now, but whether or not I could balance on one leg, whether it's dancer's pose or whatever it is, was a good indication of whether or not my life was in balance. So when I was out of balance, I would find that I literally had a trouble standing on one leg for a minute or 2 minutes. And now there's no problem with that.
So life is in balance.
That's right. Life is in balance.
That's a good indication to sort of go, okay, so how balanced am I physically? And how is that actually going into the rest of my life?
That's right. And I'll share this with you. We have a couple minutes because we started early, but when I first was presented with a bosu, which means it's BOSU, both sides up. So one side is flat and the other side is round. So the side that's round looks like a medicine ball. And then there's a flat, almost like you're coming in for a landing. I could not step onto it without holding on to the wall or holding on to someone to get on there. And so now I have no problem. I can get on there and I can use a TRX. I can use dumbbells. I can stand on one weight with a weighted bar and do all kinds of things. So you have to start somewhere. So that's what you were saying, right? So maybe now these things that we suggested for 1 minute might seem like it's impossible, but just start. I think that's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, taking the first step and breaking this mindset of I can't do it, which, by the way, I'm going to share this with you. Alcini and I have a new show coming up. We met yesterday, and the show is called, Oh My God, I Can't Do That. That is the name of the show. So we tell ourselves we can't do anything. So we're going to make a TV show of it. People can come on and tell us what they thought they couldn't do, and they're now doing. So before we leave, what is it that you thought you couldn't do and that you have mastered? I can think of a few things for you, but go ahead.
I would love the things that you want to share too. And the one thing that just came up earlier this week, I'm busy with training a group, and some of that training is on video material that I am pre-recording so that they can have some video material as well. And I thought about, so the person that I'm working with played one of the videos back while I was also listening. And they said, oh, sorry, I know that most people don't like it when they hear themselves, which, I mean, you sort of get over it after a while. And that reminded me when I was young, I listened to one of my own recordings of my own voice, and I absolutely hated it. So I thought, well, that's never happening in my life ever again. Ha ha. Enter Dr. Jacqueline. And we've been doing this for such a long time. And now I'm recording videos for training and all sorts of other stuff. So yeah, that's something when I was little, I thought, nope, not happening. Never, ever happening. And look at me now.
Look at you go, girl. That's what I was going to share, that when I first approached you about doing a TV show, you were really trepidatious about it. And now we've done hundreds of shows, and you have your own talking head show, which you're just by yourself doing it. And I've watched you blossom and grow to the highest level of professional broadcaster. And I should know, because I just gave a speech on how to be a world-class broadcaster, and you, my friend, definitely are. And the other thing I wanted to share is that when we first started going through the coaching process, I know you had talked about going out on your own and having workshops and retreats, and you weren't sure how that was going to happen. And now look at you leading all kinds of coaching sessions, retreats, and leadership sessions. I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
And we wrote a book together. I think we wrote more than one. We wrote a song.
Yeah.
And so you never thought you could do that. So the point is, for anybody who's out there, we all come from a place of love or fear. And when we're coming from fear, we're not moving forward. And it's funny. I'll share this and then I'll go to you and then we'll wrap up. I'm 62 now. When I was younger, I'm going to say, I think before my mother died in 2023. I really never thought about dying. I'm not going to go into dying, but I just thought, you know what? That's for older people. Like, I'm not going to even worry about that. And now I realize there really is a finite amount of time that we have, and that for no reason people are dead as a child or as a teenager. Some people, I just saw the oldest woman died, I think at 117. So we have to make the most of it. If we're watching other people out there doing things and we're just thinking to ourselves, I can't, that's coming from a place of fear instead of coming from a place of love. And Mariska and I both coach people. And I think, Mariska, I'm going to go over to you because you have more certifications than I do when it comes to the coaching. But getting out of our own way is part of what it takes to do something and move forward, even if with a 1-minute habit. What do you think?
It really, really is. It is. We are typically, the biggest roadblock is this. There's other things that we might think is really big, but when we really go and sit down and examine it, most of it is up here. It's got nothing to do with that other person's perception or this other thing that I need. Do you really need it? Well, technically, actually, no, you don't. You can just start with something. Start with 1 minute. Whatever the thing is that you want to do, start with 1 minute. That would take you one step closer to the thing. It is like T.R. Tolkien, that wrote The Hobbit, said in the book, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with that first step. And if you don't take the step, you will never go on said journey. So please take the step, because you are the only you that will ever exist on this planet. Ever. And you are the only you that can bring your brilliance into our space. So don't deprive all of us of that brilliance. Bring it into our space by taking that first step. And yes, sometimes it is scary. And yes, a lot of times we might need to get some help along the way. And that's all good too, because as we get help and as we do these things, we grow and learn, and we might even find that we want to do other things than what we actually thought when we started with said first step. So that is what I have to say on that, Dr. Jacqueline.
Quite profound, as always. And just a little background for our audience. If Mariska and I had not signed up for the life coaching course that we signed up for independently, we did not know each other. We both did research and ended up picking this particular goal imagery, life coaching. And if we didn't do that, and then if we didn't during that raise our hand to do role plays, we probably wouldn't have had the connection that we had, but we put ourselves in the uncomfortableness. And even though we've never met in person, I love her, I love you, and we've been together since 2019 building something. I sold meetings and events. I never thought I would be in television broadcasting, and especially we earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award. I just got back from a conference from Top 100 Global Empowered Women Icon. I mean, because you have to put yourself out there, and you're going to meet people like Mariska, and you'll find that your journey is going to take you someplace that you are enjoying the ride, and you're so passionate about what you're doing. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like a pleasure. So that's why you and I, we keep going and going. We could just keep talking, even though E360 is going to want this episode in the next 10, 15 minutes. So, but anyway, I really want to encourage everyone to take opportunities. When someone asks you, when someone invites you to do something, try it, go do it, put yourself out there. Mariska, what would you like to close with today?
Well, seeing as we have the power of 1 minute habits, I want you to go and wildly experiment with 1 minute habits that you can put in place in your life that helps you to take that small step on your 1,000-mile journey, that you're going to be able to travel and have an epic adventure. Because yes, we might look at other people's adventures and go, oh, I wish, oh, if only. And you know what? You are very, very, very capable of doing exactly that. If that is something that you want to do, look at that 1 minute habit that you can start today. Something small that would take you closer to whatever the vision is that you have in front of you. And that is what I would close with.
That is absolutely beautiful. And I will share, I keep looking. We do have a couple of extra minutes, like, because we started early. So I will share this. I was recently invited to Greece by the beautiful Deborah Wooden. I'd never met Deborah in person. She is the queen of animation. She's with Pinewood Studios, and she started something called Sifka Community Center in the south of Greece. And she was all over and is all over Clubhouse. So during the pandemic, if any of you were on Clubhouse, you might have heard of Deborah. So I went there to Greece, not having known anyone in person. And I thought to myself, this is a calling. I was invited to go. And while I was there, I went out for a walk by myself, and this woman came up from behind me and said something in Greek. I had no idea what she was saying. And I turned and I said, I only speak English. And she said, I like your top, in English. And we started walking together. We walked together for about an hour. And then she invited me to her home, and we decided to pick fruit from a tree. I didn't even know her. I didn't even think twice about going to her home. It was right off of the beach. So now we're friends, which is amazing. And we got together again, and I'm sure we'll get together another time. Then I met another woman, Dr. Alkistis Agio, and now she has her own TV show that's starting on Monday. And as a result of going to the gala where I got an award and I also spoke, it was called The Iconic Women. I now have a show called Iconic Women. Okay, I just came up with this stuff in literally 2 days. So my point is, I'm not some special person. I'm just a regular person who's so passionate about what they're doing. I love meeting new people. I love hearing people's stories. And this is what excites me. It might not excite you, but I can tell you what, it's an incredible ride. And somebody said to me at the gym the other day, you look like you're having the best chapter of your life. And I'm like, you know what? I really am. And I'm so grateful. Gratitude is another 1-minute habit that we can practice multiple times during the day. My dear friend, what is the best way for people to reach you, and who would you like to contact you?
So the best way to reach me would be either via my email, which is mariska@journey2discover.com. I know, poor Dr. Jacqueline. I think that's ringing in her head constantly. And the alternative way that you can reach me is via my LinkedIn profile. So there you would find me under Mariska D if we are not connected, or Mariska Dupria if we aren't connected. And we can start our conversation there as well. The other place that you can also find me is on my website. And my website is www.journey2discover.com. And there's a form on there that you can fill in, and then I can get into connection and contact you. So that's all the ways that you can contact me. And those that can think about that process of contacting and reaching out. So if you are either thinking about stepping into leadership yourself from a specialization, or you are stepping up in your leadership space as a leader, you are growing and wanting to move up within your career and bringing more humanness into your leadership space, we can start our conversation there, whether it is having difficult conversations as a leader, whether it is helping to empower others, or getting the best out of your team. All of those topics, and of course in leadership so many more, are all things that we can work on and make sure that you become the leader that you wish you had.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. My fingers are flying across this dashboard here, bringing things up. So for those who don't know, I also produce this show. So with these nails, I do it. Yay. Anyway, we're going to close out, and we're actually going to hear from Dr. Alkistis Agio. We're going to hear from her, and this is the segue for her new program. So please do. You just saw Mariska's LinkedIn. If you're sitting there and you've got your phone or your computer, hello, did you go and connect with her on LinkedIn? If not, I don't know why. Are you connecting with me? If not, I don't know why. We're here. We're resources. We're telling you to connect with us. So please take us to heart and actually do it. All right, let's take a look at this clip, and then we're saying goodbye, and we will be back next week with another outstanding episode. Until then, please do practice the power of 1-minute habits, whatever they are for you that are healthy. Okay, here we go. Bye, Mariska. Bye, everyone.
Which of these 5 statements sounds mostly like you? 1. I often wake up in the middle of the night worrying about my future. 2. I'm angry or resentful towards a specific person. 3. I have anxious, obsessive, compulsive thoughts throughout the day. 4. I have an addiction like smoking, drinking, shopping, sugar, or social media. And 5. I feel that I'm wasting away my life. Hello, I'm Dr. Alkistis Agio, and for over 25 years, I've been coaching and training people from all over the world to transform their fears, insecurities, anxiety, and anger into mental and emotional freedom. I'm confident that my simple 3-step method based on Greek philosophy can help you to transform into the joyful, confident, free human being that you deserve to be. I want to invite you to join my weekly online coaching group to finally get the results that you want. Look, you've tried it alone so far and you've had some okay results, but let's face it, you're still feeling stuck right now, spinning your wheels. Einstein said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Now, unless you realize this as a fact, that you are a prisoner of your own mind, you can't move forward. I'm here to support you, as well as the whole community that we are co-creating. Stop feeling stuck. Stop feeling depressed. You don't have to do it alone, and alone isn't working anyway. Sign up today, and I'll meet you on the inside of our amazing weekly group call. I guarantee that you'll make progress from the very first session.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.